Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Horus and Seth. And yeah, last time we left it around 14.4, where Horus was basically complaining about them having been to court now for 80 years. And again, one time after another, he being told or it being decided that his claim was justified far more than the claim by Seth, and still the contendings go on and on. And before we go into the text, one quick follow-up. We had discussed last time that basically we know what this construction means. This ma'ai erof, or rather, in the full form D2, it was given. Ma'ai erof,
Doncaster.
that I was more justified than him, but we were not completely sure on what that was grammatically. And Chris had put us on the correct path that this is some kind of F. And actually, it is explained in Junge. So I quickly wanted to go over that. Junge basically has that as an adjectival F after D. So give that, and often you have like D plus perspective or subjunctive F, right? Give that something something may happen or should happen. And you can do that with verbs as well. Like for example here, imi or ima, however you want to, or imem, as Junge has it here, however we want to have it, give, imperative. Um, Anchek, that you live. Um, Ima or imem, senebek, that you be healthy. So clearly, adjective. This here is a verb, but this one here, the seneb, is in there and behaving just like another SHMF. So that's a good example for exactly the construction that we're looking at. That is still then a thing in late Egyptian, like we already suspected. I did also use the opportunity to bitch about how different grammars always for Middle Egyptian talk about the Sejm F form of the verb without giving too many examples. It's mentioned in passing that you have the Nefer Su, he is beautiful or good, it is good construction, but never too many example sentences for how this is used. And there's a really interesting article I wanted to share, unfortunately, only in German. Um, Adjectives and adjective verbs in Middle Egyptian by Carsten Poist. He's come up a few times now. Great researcher in mostly Coptic, but also earlier stages of the language. And what he basically explains is, first of all, he explains which words he wants to call adjectives for the purpose of his analysis. And then he's going to go through for anything that's like a defined adjective, how can they actually be used? I'm going to skip the part how he defines what adjectives are, but there are things in there like, for example, nefer, good, or asha, many, plentiful, and a few others. He takes like a test set of 10. And then he looks at all the different constructions that they appear in. And of course, nefer su, the basic adjectival sentence, that's the first one that he has. And then he has the nefer construction, the beautiful or face. He calls that bahu vrihi construction. I'm not quite sure where that comes from. Not directly related to Egyptian, but oh wait, no, did I mess that up? Wait, that's the nefer
It
we.
looks like a Sanskrit word.
Yeah, and that was the Nefer reconstruction. Sorry, I was confused. But there's also the Nefer, and then there come a few more, but eventually, let me get to the meat of it. Eventually, he has all the different Sejm F forms. And that's interesting because those are the ones that you normally don't hear too much about. And he gives all the different examples. Like, for example, one is after Ir. Ir Ikarek. Once you have become successful or once you have become excellent literally, but once you are excellent. Or for example, ir aik im chet nejesuk, after you've become great, having been, how would you want to translate nejes? He says gering. Gering is like a little one. When you've become great after having been a little one. So these are ir plus a F form of the adjective. Then he also has, what else do we have here? Let me see. He has more examples of other constructions. He has F after prepositions. just like you can use the ZMF after prepositions of verbs in Middle Egyptian. For example, here, Chezi en we, Nebi, my Lord, all Middle Egyptian, my Lord praised me, Her Menechi, upon me being excellent. So this is a ZMF form of Menech. And it's just glued after the Her, the same way that you could glue a ZMF form of a verb after Her or other prepositions in Middle Egyptian. And then finally, let's see, he has some prospective forms, although he says they are usually hard to find by themselves. Basically, he has a ton of different examples, which I thought was cool because, like I said, at least the standard grammars I'd seen, this is never really discussed in much detail. There even is a ZMNF form of the adjectival verbs. Like, for example, acheni enati, I was useful. Ach is useful. I was useful to my city. And here's another one. Aini, I was, well, let's see, what do we make out of this? Great in my name, Emereni. I was great in my name. So kind of cool. Like I said, unfortunately, only German, although Google auto translation may help if that's not one of your languages. Just want to point that out. And the link is in our Discord. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share based on the question the last time. Any questions on this one or any comments? Not so much? All right. Well, with that out of the way, when I listened to the video again briefly this morning just to see where we left off, I remember that we had left on a cliffhanger, basically. If we find anything on the adjective, we will discuss it next time. Well, I guess we've hereby done that and can go back to our normal text. So now we know why, or rather how that sentence works. And Horus has now said it 4 times, that he was found ma'ai, or rather, ditu ma'ai eroth, in all those different circumstances. And so after he has now said this, what happens next? Where exactly were we? Aaron, remind me, you always have that down. Is it here?
Right at the beginning of line 5.
Right at the beginning of line 5. So we had this here. What was the last one here? Let's catch that real quick. Utah, Pesjet, Jet, and Shu, I guess, huh? Son of whom? Son of Re. Okay, he's right, or it is right in what he says. He's right in what he says, and everything that he says. Who, namely Horus. So Horus, the son of Isis, is right in everything that he said. Okay, and let's continue from line number 5 then. Any volunteers?
I can go.
All right, thank you.
Jed Iren Djehuty and Neberger, Ima Habti, Wach, and Isir, Wuja F, Pa Ajed Senu.
Correct.
So Jed Iren said, I'm a little thrown by the ear here.
Yeah. It's a construction that also appears in Allen. Imagine that there's a poo in there somewhere.
Jed Pu Iren?
I think so, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what Ramses has, but I think that's exactly what it is. Give me a quick moment. I have to guess where it is. This is... Hang on. I'm in the right place? Yes. Why are there no line numbers? 49. No, that's a little bit too much in the future. We're getting closer. Okay, one more. Yeah, Jetpu Iren, exactly like you said. Jetpu Iren, Djehuty, and Neberjed. And they're getting very formal now. This is almost like a headline or something.
Jedpu. Said Iren Djehuty. Djehuty. This was said. It was said by Djehuty
This is
or
what
by
was,
Thoth.
I think you could make it into like this is what was said by Djehuty. That's
Oh,
right.
okay.
Something like that. It's one of those. It's almost like a headline kind of introduction.
Oh, it's like a quotation mark, basically. It's preceding
Sort of,
what his speech is. Okay.
exactly.
All right, that makes sense.
Mhm.
So this is what was said by Thoth to the Nebuchadnezzar. Cause to be sent, cause to send. Not sure about the verb form. A letter to Osiris, so that he may judge the two youths.
That's right. Well, the two youngsters. I mean, they've only been in court for 80 years, so
The two youths.
the two youths.
My
are
cousin
still
Vinny.
Indeed. So you ask about the verb form.
Yeah.
What normally comes after to give?
Cause an infinitive.
You'd think, but no. It's a ZMF. It's
Oh,
the subjunctive ZMF or prospective,
okay.
whatever you want to call it. So it has to be hapti doesn't make any sense. That looks like it was
That's
a
why I'm
stative,
confused.
right? If it were haptu, it would make a lot of sense, right? Because then it would just be give that one may send, give that one
Yeah.
send. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it is. He's just spelling it out phonetically because haptu and hapte and hapti are the same thing at this point in time. So it's just like a long T, so to say. And that's
Okay.
what it is. So this is a subjunctive. Give or let, make that one send a letter to Osiris. And then here you translate it correctly. Ujaf, that is another subjunctive. So that he may judge the two youths. And that's it. Perfect job. Anybody any questions about this one?
Yeah, I thought that initial form had completely disappeared from Late Egyptian. In the beginning, the ear, the jetpu, ear, and
Yeah, it's the first time that we definitely see it in this text. And I can say that, not that I've read that much, but the few stories I've read in Late Egyptian, I don't recall another example. Then again, may have just skimmed over it. I mean, what else could it be? Jet, Ir, and Djehuty.
yeah, no, I agree. It's a common form in Middle East.
That's what it has to be, right?
Yeah.
If I had to make a guess, I mean, the text also likes to use all these when-in construction and aha-in constructions. That's still very literary. This is not like a Wenamun, which is already like fully fledged late Egyptian, but this is still like a little bit on the border. There are texts which are more formal. For example, some of the poetry on the same collection uses far more suffix pronouns on the words than the possessive article, which tells me that's even more formal. But I think this is definitely literary late Egyptian, early literary late Egyptian, if you want to really put it into a very precise pigeonhole. So maybe that's why. That's the best answer I have. That's a bit more. But it's going to get even more formal in a moment because now we're writing to the big boss himself. You're writing to Osiris. So the formality level goes up. Other questions, if any? If not, let's take a quick look at the hieratic before we jump on. So Jet, Ir, and Djehuty, that's all familiar. And Nib-Adjer. And Nib-Adjer. Okay. Ima, Ha. Lost here for a moment. Yeah. Chabuiti. I mean, there's a lot going on here in terms of sound science. There's an extra B for whatever reason. I wish we knew what that means. I mean, you would think that would indicate that there's like a vowel here, or a dark vowel, or a long vowel, or something. Otherwise, why do you write a W and a Y there? That must mean something. If only we knew what. But yeah, okay. And then there's the T and reed leaf here, long T and reed leaf. Ucha with that very long string to indicate a document. Plural strokes squished underneath. That's a little broken up here. That should be continuous. That should be 3 strokes, but something happened in the middle. Then our papyrus breaks. N is ear. And then we have this uja thing. The Y1 is kind of hard to read. You just have to know it's there. Remember the stick. F, Pa, Ajad. Pa, Ajad. Let's take a quick look at that. Ah, yeah, there it is. Ajad, you sort of have to know. I mean, you can see very clearly the kid at the end with the 2 legs. And then this here is definitely Jud. And then from that, you can conclude, well, what's the only word that fits here? It has to be Ajad, but that Ein here is really hard to read. And then the double stroke basically for the number 2, which is very different, as you can see from the Y. They really differentiate much more clearly when it is the number 2 versus the double stroke for the consonant. The only other thing to maybe point out is note that it is the singular article, pa ajad now. So you don't say na ajad now or something, even though from an English conception or the way that we see things, you would go like the plural 2 boys basically, but that's not what they do. They say like this of boy 2. Or this 2 of boys, or however you want to construct that. Second, number 2 always comes behind the noun, so it's really pa ajad now. It's not pas now ajad. That would be ungrammatical. That's true for all other numbers, but not for the number 2, which still does that in Coptic as well. And I think now I've milked the sentence for all it's worth. Let's get on to the next one.
Yeah, I'll go.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So we have Jed in Shu, Sa, Ra, and also mix here. Ni Ma'a, Ma'at.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Is that
This is so weird. I don't know what to make out of that.
or is that
Gardner alert. He thinks it's just a mistake. If he puts a smudge there and then marks it thick.
So this is a long smudge? This is an elongated smudge glove? Okay, all right. Thanks for the alert, though.
We can see what Ramsey's put there, but yeah, I just copied Gardner.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Okay, let's go on. Yeah.
All right. So we have Ma'a, Ma'at Sa. Wait, Ma'at Sa. Oh wait, no, that's part of Ma'at. No, that's.
I think it's smart. Yeah.
Okay, there's a cobra. Ma'at, Ni. No, not Ni. M. Nehi. Or Ne, Ni, Sept.
Okay, let's go on a bit.
Then we have Pa, Jed or Jedu, Djehuty. Ni Ta Pasejet.
Perfect. All right. This sentence is grammatically a bit more tricky, is what I see here. Has 1 or 2 pitfalls in it. But okay, what do you make out of it?
All right. So we have so then Shu, son of Ra. Wait. Wait, then Shu, son of Ma'at, son of Ra. Truth. Wait. True son of a million years. Wait.
True? You said true, right?
Yeah.
True, I think it's good. I mean, literally, it says truth. And I saw that, I think Ramses X'd that out and just replaced it by the adjective true, which makes so much more sense in this context. So it literally says truth because there's like the goddess of truth, Ma'at, with the female god or goddess determinative at the end. But at least Ramses Online thinks that's not correct, and you could basically cut here. And then it would just become Ma'a Chachensop. What would you make?
In millions of times or epochs or.
Okay, so something is true a million of times, and what is true a million of times?
So we have, Djehuty spoke to, well, I guess it says Jed, or the one who speaks Djehuty, the one who speaks. Uh-oh. I should just probably translate it as Djehuty speaks to the Pasejet.
So yeah, that's right. So Jedu, Djehuty, Enta Pasejet would be Djehuty speaks to the Pasejet, although you might wonder why is there W in there. Djehuty speaks to the Pasejet, and now put a pa in front of it.
The or this? Not this. No, this is no. The.
That which Djehuty speaks to the Pasejet. This here is some kind of relative form.
I was going to say that U is a marker for, okay.
Yeah.
Participle something.
Correct. And I think normally you would have like the pathetic yod with the little A2 man, but because there's an article in front of it, that basically gets squished together. They didn't pronounce a separate vowel there. So the only marker that you really have is the W at the end. And the overall.
Oh, right. Participles are nominal forms too. So whatever follows pa would have to be something that's nominal. Right. So kind of.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. The nominal form.
So the one who speaks. Gotcha.
Or in this case, that what was said, actually. So this
sorry, that what was said.
So this is really that what was said. That what Djehuty said. We can't do this in English. That we'd have to make it that said by Djehuty, which is kind of that Djehuty said thing is literally what he's saying here to the Pasejet. Okay, perfect. Well done.
I have a quick question about that. Sorry. Is that that which was said by, is that a way to anglicize it? Like that which was said by Djehuty? Or is that what you're saying? Or
that's exactly what
okay, so you kind of have to make a relative clause in English to make it work. Okay, cool. Thanks.
And the thing is, we'll cover that. I would like to say soon, but that's not true. There is a whole chapter, at least, if not several, on the topic of relative clauses, because Lady Egyptian and also Demotic, they get pretty crazy in that respect, because you have at least 3 different ways how to form them, depending on what the whether the thing that you're talking about is defined, undefined. I don't want to go on a bunny ride on this now because it's just way too complicated, which is just another nice way of saying it. I can't explain it 100% without using the book. But maybe just like a grammar alert there is a whole bunch of different constructions. Let me see if I can pull that up real quickly, just for awareness. In case that you're wondering, why does it use that participle? Why doesn't it use enti? So let's see, 123. Hope he explained it in the first. One quick moment. So there's relative forms which go away in Coptic. You don't have them anymore. But in Lady Egyptian, and you can still have them with like normally or often with a little reed leaf plus A2 man in front of it. But like I said, that one goes away whenever you have a defined article in front of it. And so you have those, the relative forms. And then you also, of course, have your relative sentence, which lives on in Coptic. That's your et pronoun in Coptic, the et that you can use to do so many things with. And you can use them in many different ways. You can use them as like who is there, who is placed. So it can be the subject, can be the object. There's many things you can do with this. And then you can also use circumstantial sentences to sort of form like a relative expression. So there's like 3 different ways how to do it. Relative forms, enti, and circumstantial sentences. And when to use which one is worth several chapters in Neveu and also in some other books. So that's a topic we'll get to eventually. But for the moment, we'll just leave it at this, I think. All right. Let's see the hieratic of this one. So Jed in Chu, we had that before. Jed in Chu. And you see it has that extra little stroke at the side, which the truth feather, the mad feather, does not have. So that's how you can tell them apart in hieratic. even though they normally look the same in hieroglyphs. And what we're doing here, what Gardner probably also did, is he points that out that they're different in hieratic, but that wouldn't necessarily be the case on a real hieroglyphic inscription. This is like pseudo-hieratic, so to say, or pseudoglyphs. Not sure if they do that later. Originally, I think they're written the same way. Okay, in any case, Shu, Sa, and not any Sa, but it's a divine Sa. Oh, we didn't talk about that. Why is there an extra R? I have no idea. Let's see if that's explained on Ramses. Or if anybody has an idea on that one. I don't know. Jed in Shu.
I did have a.
Oh, go ahead.
I did have a question about which god is being referred to there with Ra and Ma'at being there. Or is it Ma'atra, like a combined form? Or is it like how the relationship, is it you're supposed to read Ra afterwards, even though honorific transposition, you write it first? Just wanted to check on what's going on with that.
Let me make sure I understand the question. You mean like this Ra over here? Or Re, I should say. This one?
I'm sorry, is it meant to be translated afterwards? Like sometimes there's honorific transposition that happens with Ra or Re, where it's written afterwards. Or it's written before, but it's supposed to be understood afterwards. Or is it just its own clause here, so you don't need to do that?
I mean, normally when you write Ra, or Re, I should say,
right,
it should look like this. R, Ein, Sun, and then maybe like this, right? So this is really wonky. I don't think it's honorific transposition. I think, like Aaron said, it's just a mistake. I think he messed it up. Because I mean, this is what it should really look like in the other direction. I mean,
meaning that it shouldn't say Ra Re there at all. It should just say Ma'at, or that it's spelled incorrectly.
No, this here is definitely Sare, because Shu is the son of Re, if I'm not all mistaken.
Right.
So this all belongs together. Jed in Shu Sare, and then comes what he says. So imagine like colon afterwards. And then it goes. This here is not Mat, but if Ramses Online is correct, it's really just Mati, the adjective. Mati.
So it's true.
Mm-hmm. It is true.
Okay, so it's not a deified truth as Ma'at. So,
right. I mean, it is.
Okay, cool.
Your confusion is well justified because it is clearly spelled as the goddess Ma'at.
And
I think it's just probably.
It's a cobra determinative there, right?
It is. I would normally tell you it has to be a female god. Female god. I mean, it has to be a goddess. Female god. Okay. All right. Whatever. I think it is just. Maybe they sounded the same, although I would have thought that Ma'at would have lost the T at that point in time. So it's kind of weird that he spells out the name of the goddess when he meant the adjective.
Maybe it's a way to retain the T spelling for the literary form without really understanding. I don't know.
It could be, right? But it's still kind of weird.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, that's what that is. So unfortunately, we don't have interpunction. We don't have any. Well, I shouldn't say ever. Like, for example, the sentence we had last week in Our Lady Egyptian class, the ones from that scribe, that young scribe that wants to escape and doesn't want to stay basically in school or wherever he is. That one has little sentence that has little, whatchamacallit, verse points.
Quotation marks?
Not quotation marks, but they put verse points. There's like two things that you can put. You can put this thing that is just like a comma. Coptic also likes to do that. They like to put like a point in the middle of the line. And then there's something that, I don't know how it looks in hieratic, to be honest. In glyphs, it looks sort of like that arm glyph, and that's a full stop. You can find that in some texts.
Is it for meter? I think I missed last week. Should watch that video.
Oh yeah, the video's not up yet. Sorry, I did that one.
No problem.
So this is, yeah, it's kind of hard to say. It's called verse points, so it could be meter. At least it separates things, like it separates blocks that should belong together, whether by meaning or by verse. And this one here is like a full stop at the end of a paragraph. You don't see that as often, but I've seen it. This one here is actually fairly common. Mm.
So like a caesura, sort of, maybe? Like a intermediate stop? Maybe not for meter, but like for just like a comma or something.
Exactly. This here is behaving a lot like
That's
a
cool.
comma.
Cool.
But unfortunately, our text doesn't have it, so you have to figure it out by yourself.
Cool. Thanks for explaining that.
Sure thing. The only thing we do have, of course, is red and black. That helps at least somewhat. So
Yeah.
Is this smudge? I mean, this smudge would have to be an ein, right? There's nothing else
that makes any
that
sense,
would make
right?
sense, right?
Right.
Do we think? Does it look like an ein? Not really.
Not really.
Maybe.
Looks like an N more.
Looks like an N.
It would have to be an
You
I.
can kind of see a little thumb, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's from the D above it or the R above it. No, that's probably from the R above it.
I think it's from
Never
the R
mind.
above it.
I like that though. A little thumb.
Like,
Our scribe is going thumbs up.
I mean, why write? Because he's just written Ray, and he only wrote it as the disk, and now he's writing an R. What else could he have written there other than an ein? Why would you just write the solar disk and then an R? That doesn't make any sense either.
But
It's phonetic, right? Isn't it a phonetic spelling of Ray?
Right. That's why I'm saying I feel like this is supposed to be an ein.
Yeah.
Even though it looks a little bit wrong. Well, although
You
look at the one under Ma.
Position.
Look at the one under Ma
It's
right
completely
next
the
to
same,
it.
yes.
It's the same.
Wait.
Oh
where?
yeah.
Right next to it. See?
Right.
Oh yes, very similar. You're right.
Yeah. So I mean that's got to be that's got to be it.
I mean, is there a chance that he started here and then added the little sun on top? Like try to squish it in? Because this is sort of all at the same height, right? And then suddenly here goes bigger. These are all like same top line, and then suddenly
I don't know.
possible?
I'm tempted to just fix that and make it an ein because I don't think it's a smudge. It looks like exactly like the other ein. I also need to go back in there and add the G7 because I left it out. So I'm going to be fixing that anyway.
The G.
Would that be a phonetic spelling? Is that what we think it's doing? Like just literally
That's
spelling
what I'm
out
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen
What
this
else could
in
it
the capture of Joppa papyrus. If you look at the capture of Joppa, they spell Ray out phonetically like this a couple of times.
That's fairly common.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
fairly common.
That makes sense. It fills in a whole column, so I guess it's emphatic or visually
Yeah.
emphatic. I guess.
I don't know why all the scholars are saying it's a smudge then because they know better than I do. But to me, I can't think what else it could possibly be.
But what you're saying fits very well with many other places to have an ein there. And it's not the first time that our scribe squeezes something in because he forgot about it and doesn't have space for it. I mean, that has happened many times by now. So I wouldn't be surprised if we went like R, ein, and then wrote the next one and oh crap. Well, luckily I have space
Yeah,
up here.
that's my mistake. I left out a G7 there. Yes, I'm going to make it an ein.
Okay, let's do it. I think it makes
I'll
sense.
fight that battle.
I mean, a long smudge doesn't make
Yeah,
any sense.
I like that. Helpful.
Very cool. All right, one more mystery down. What else do we have? Ma'at. I mean, literally Ma'at. Goddess, which it isn't, but that's what he wrote. Chach. Beautifully written, the Chach here. Chach. Chach, 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 with plural strokes and sub. A million times. Okay, and who, namely, or what? Pajadu, Djehuty, and Ta Pesjet. I think we had all this, so yeah. I think time to move on. Well done. Who wants the next one?
I can take it. So it's one in Nebjer, Her Jeden, Djehuty, Hemsi, Iru, Uha, and Aset, Sejem, and Pa, Enti.
Enti, yeah, Enti.
EUF, Jed, 2F.
Right, perfect. All right.
So,
Out of it.
So then Nebjer said to Djehuty, sit making a letter for Seth, like is that for Osiris?
Mhm.
We will hear that which he will say.
Yeah.
It, okay, yeah.
Which you don't do in English, but yeah, that's what it literally says. That which he will say it. In good old Christian fashion, the way that he always puts that which he will say it. So yeah, that's it, right? Any questions grammatically? I think there are a few verb forms that we probably need to look at.
Well, Hems is probably not sit, but rest or dwell. So yeah,
it could really be sit, because I mean he's telling him sit down. I mean it's a senior god to a slightly less senior god. Sit down and sit down. Iru, what do you make out of that?
and you shall make.
In Coptic, it would be Ari. It's the imperative. How can you tell? There's like a little extra consonant in front of it. That's why they write not vowel, I should say, in front of it. That's why they write the reed leaf. So in Coptic, it becomes Ari, make. Iru here in the spelling, whatever that wants to indicate. Iru ucha, make a letter, literally, or make a writ, make a written document for Osiris. Okay. Sejamen or Sejman. This here is just a single N, spelled double, that we may hear pet f jetif, that which he will say, I guess. Yeah. That's it. What is this last thing here? Jetif. That he will say it. I think that must be, I think that is a future 3.
That which he will say.
Yeah.
It towards it. Yeah.
And then this must be some kind of weird object construction of the infinitive, because jet doesn't take a T. It's not a weak verb. So in the infinitive, it shouldn't take a final T ending. However, this sometimes happens according to Cherny Groll. This sometimes happens with Jed, just to indicate that the final D is being pronounced. In Coptic, this becomes Jo, right? Or in some constructions, it becomes Je. So the second dental there falls out. This may be an indication that the T here is still being pronounced. That's my best guess. Anybody have any opinions on this one? Otherwise, we can take a look at Ramses online too.
Does the N become Na in Coptic, or becomes a different Coptic future?
This one here?
No, the second one. Yeah.
This one here. This is et in Coptic. The NT becomes et.
Okay.
The relative pronoun
okay.
that you see everywhere.
Okay.
That's what that is. But let's take a look at what comes from an official
That's right.
perspective. Oops.
Were you saying that was third future?
That was my guess.
Misheard.
That's my guess.
Okay.
Let's see if it's correct.
Don't think I've gotten there in Coptic yet. Got the first future, I think second future.
Yeah, so in late, it starts in Middle Egyptian already. You use the U plus subject plus the preposition are, literally to be towards doing something. It indicates a certain future, something that will happen. So basically, if I like iu ha, I am towards descending, then I will descend. That this is something that is not just an intention like the subjunctive, but it's something that we already know is going to happen. That's what the third future expresses normally. Sejamen pa et ufr jedef. Yeah, they take it the same way. They think it's a future 3, and they think that the T here is just part of the infinitive, which again, I want to point out, since this is not a weak verb, you wouldn't expect it. You would expect it to be jedef, infinitive plus suffix pronoun for the object. But presumably because the D lives on, they spell it tuf here. Ja tuf, basically. Something like this. Make sense?
what do the other two futures represent? One of them is less definite, and the other one is general, or do
So that's tricky because the terminology is from Coptic. The normal future in Coptic is the na future. Literally something like I'm going
right,
to.
right, yeah, know that one so far.
And the A or ere is the third future. And the second one, I think, if I'm not all mistaken, is just the circumstantial of the first. If I'm not, not circumstantial of the first, but I think it uses. No, I'm going to make a fool out of myself. I can't tell you what the second future is in Coptic. My bad.
No problem.
If anybody knows, please chime in.
Maybe it got absorbed into one of the other ones from late Egyptian, because I have no idea. I'm not sure.
I mean, the main thing is when you know that you have like essentially like two main futures and a second one in Coptic, the historical ancestor of the third Coptic future is this one. That's why we call it the third future. I don't think there are three futures already in late Egyptian. It's more like you're projecting backwards. It's like the prequel kind of, you know what's going to happen in the main movie. So we're already going to refer to the characters by what they become. So this is our Anakin future.
Like Star Wars, kind of.
Exactly.
That's fun.
See where my mind was going. Okay. Back to our text. I think have we finished all the hieratic? No, we have not. So let's see. When in Neb, Jed, Jed and Djehuty, Chemsi, with a little kid here at the end indicating that's the verb to sit. Ari or Aru or Idu, or however you want to pronounce that, the imperative of to do. Ucha, again with a beautiful document here, again plural strokes, again broken up. Kind of weird. I wonder if that's a habit of his. The first time I thought it was just a slip of the pen, literally, but this looks too systematic. He's doing it again. And Isir, Sejem, or actually Sejman, may we hear. Is that really two N's here? Arguably, huh? I mean, yeah, I guess it is a double N. It would be in keeping with what he normally does. And then the plural strokes. Pa, et, or enti, uf. The R is deleted. There should be an R here for the third future, but it often isn't there because it's just a vowel at this point in time. Same thing in demotic, I just learned a week ago or two. Basically, half the time it's not there. And sometimes they write it. Make of that what you will. Jetuf, jetuf. Okay, very well. Very well done. Cool. Not too many new signs that we need to look up now that we're 14 pages into it. So that's also kind of cool. Let's
That document determinative is really fancy.
Isn't
and there are three strings under it, and maybe the top one is blurred or is smudged into it or ligatured.
Right. I mean, you would think it should be written like this. Oh, wait, sorry, I did this wrong. Should start here, go down, and then you would think
then it curves
would be
there.
like this. But it looks to me like he does this, and I could be wrong, but I think he's just sort of making.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
You first have the ha sign underneath, so ha, and then you do the other thing, which is just, I don't know, there's so much art in this. I like this.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, sorry.
Cool, no worries. Who wants the next one? Any takers?
I'll go. Oh, yeah, sorry.
You're good? Whoever wants it.
All right, so we have Win in Djehuty. MS.
That's right.
Let me shrink this down so I can see. There we go. Hemes Mehu. No, not Mehu. Meh. Ha. Ni Wasir Im Jed.
Jed. You can continue, but let's break here first because then now comes a very long thingy. Let's do that first and then continue by car at car.
Okay.
If I can ever zoom out again, hang on. Ugh. Help. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Sorry about that. Hope nobody's getting seasick. Here we go.
So then we have, so then Djehuty said, no. Then Djehuty sat or stayed to, let's see, meh means to fill, but it doesn't, I'm sure it doesn't mean fill here. You have a letter.
Yeah.
Not fill a letter, but I guess to, does meh mean to write also?
I've never seen it like this.
Yeah.
But I think fill a letter,
Fill a letter, fill up.
That kind of makes sense.
like compose a letter.
Like fill up a
guess, right?
page.
Yeah.
It almost sounds
Right.
like he's form filling, but I don't think
Or
so.
finish. Yeah. Fill out a form. That's fine.
No, I think compose is probably the best in English, like compose a letter, maybe. Mech. Where's our mech? Remplir.
Kind of like fill a papyrus full of letters, full of text, sort of.
Let's see if it ever occurs in another. I'm going to do a combo search. No, this is the only attestation that we have, at least in the Ramblers Online database, which doesn't mean much because they don't have that many texts. But okay, it's the only one I could find. That's our sentence. So let's go
Yeah,
back
you're
to
right.
it.
That makes sense. Or
Okay.
fill into a letter. To Usir.
Mjet.
Don't, let's see, is this a negation? Don't speak or
It could be, or it could simply be.
insane. Well,
That's right, insane, and that's what it
insane.
is. That's why I said let's pause here. So basically, fill out a letter to Osiris saying ... and so now comes to what he's saying, and that's going to be a long string. So go as far as you want to go.
Okay. So we have so ka ma'i behes inef nepti.
And so you had ka, may ayu, yeah.
Habes inef
Okay.
nepti. No, not m. Mek or meki.
Mek.
Necheru wawef tawi heru.
Is this one?
Wow.
Watuf. I may have to look this one up. I'm not completely sure what that is. Okay,
What?
let's look it up in a moment. Unless somebody has it.
And
Tau.
tawi heru nebu. Keep going.
As you wish, you can stop here. That's fine.
Okay, yeah, stop at nebu.
That's fair. The tricky part is with these long strings of titles, where do you separate them? So let's see.
Scroll over here so we can see you. Are you scrolling over? I can't see the other side of the screen.
Oh, sorry. I
Ready
mean,
to transfer.
MJet is where we stopped, so it's starting from
Oh, okay, you're right. Insane. Yep. So we have Kau. Let's see. Bull.
Bull.
Mayu can be is lion, right? Or beast.
Correct.
Lion.
Lion. That's lion. Mui and Mew? I forgot. Something like this in Coptic. I think Mui.
And then we have Hebes and F. I don't want to say he cut the two ladies. No, I wouldn't.
That would be weird, right?
Yeah, that would be weird. Yeah. Hebes. Does Hebes mean to cut here or to?
Or is it Beches?
Behes is hunt, I think.
Hunt. Okay.
I think.
That makes sense, though.
It was the determinative too.
So the two ladies hunted for him.
If those two things belong together, so if it is bull, lion, the two ladies hunted for him would be a possibility. I'm not sure if this could belong to lion. Beches NF, who hunts for him. I'm really bad with this kind of title stuff. Anybody, please chime in. What do you guys think?
Could it be hunted by?
Hunted by. Yeah, why would you say that to a god like Osiris? I mean,
I mean, is it a far fetch though that the two ladies hunted bulls and lions for him, or?
I wasn't sure if it was active or passive. So
let's go on a little bit and see how the two ladies fit into that.
Okay. And then we have, let's see, Meki can mean to protect, right? So the gods protected.
Or maybe he's protecting the gods, protector of the gods, the one who protects the gods, question mark? Because otherwise you're missing an F somewhere. Although, the one whom the gods protect, maybe, could be. Okay, how do we go on? This one, I don't know what it is.
Something's the two lands of Heru. What is this? Wow.
Let's look it up. Oh, I lost my spot. Here we go. Nope.
Isn't Uhad protect?
What did you make out of it for protect?
Uhad? Am I remembering wrong? WH, happy HA?
Okay. What happened? Oh.
It also looks like behold for mock, meek, but maybe that's not used anymore.
Yeah, I think a late Egyptian. Yeah, I think they use Petel for that now. But
right. Yeah, I guess that was a Middle Egyptian thing. That spelling.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the mech. Mm-hmm.
The mech, yeah.
Hang on, I completely lost the plot here. Bear with me. Here we go. All right. Mjedit saying Ka Bull, my lion, wonderful. Bechesenef Nepti, make to protect, ensure, or ensure. Wa'af. So they're ignoring this completely. They're saying this is nothing. Wa'af.
Conqueror?
To subjugate, to let's look it up.
Oh, to subjugate?
To conquer, I guess. Did you say conquer? That would fit.
I said conqueror. I don't know French that well, so
that fits.
Is that an infinitive with the ER? To conquer.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Where did it go? Here we go. Which one is it? That doesn't fit.
You said Wa'af, right? You wrote Wa. Is it Wa'af?
I thought the F belonged to the.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, because there's the word Wa'af that's kind of similar.
Oh no, you're right. I'm wrong. The F belongs to it. I thought it was a. Yeah, there you go. Wonderful. Okay. Meaning with a question mark. Let's take something a bit more. Yeah, Wa'af Kasut. To conquer
that makes sense.
the foreign lands. So that seems to be one of those. Conquers the horns of the gods. All right, if you've got nothing else to do, why not? Wa'af Tawi. So I think that's our text. Okay, so what do we make out of it? We make out of it who conquers the two lands, I guess?
Okay, two lands, yeah.
So who protects the gods and who conquers the two lands, maybe? Oh, you said protected by the gods. How do you tell the difference? I have no idea. Like, are the gods being the protected ones, or are they the ones being who do the protecting? I don't know.
I mean, I'd say taking these two phrases together, he's the actor in both of them.
Logically, right? I can't make a good grammatical argument, but logically...
I can't either, but just feels like it.
No, you're right.
If I had to pick one.
Right. So then what do we make out of that part here, of the two goddesses?
You're calling the guy a bull and a lion. You're not then going to say he needs to be protected by other gods. Those are the sort of epithets you give a protector.
That is true. Okay. Then what do we make out of this? Let's take a look what Ramses does. What would Ramses say?
I was saying the two ladies protect him because I know in the story of when Atum came out of the noon, he used those two goddesses as his protectors. So that's why I was kind of thinking.
Oh,
two goddesses protect them.
That is true. I mean, that's the traditional imagery, right?
Yeah.
Huh. That's a really good argument. I mean, they break it completely differently here. They say the bull, the lion who hunts for him, the two ladies who protects the gods and subjugates the two lands. I'm not 100% convinced that that is correct. I kind of like your interpretation better. Also, why would it say the two ladies as a title? That doesn't make any sense at all. I think we'll have to break here. Let's all take a look at that one for the next time because we're already past.
I mean, the two ladies in the Chachulary for the pharaoh, the Nebti name, it is a title though, and I know at least
it is. It is.
Yeah.
That is true. But is this his Nepti name? Because now when you think about it, there's a gold Horus later. Is this like
that would make sense? Yeah, one of the names.
Oh, this is so cool. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Because there's no cartouches here. You would think normally there's like a cartouche beginning and end.
Yeah, that's cool.
But that could be.
Oh, there is one on the next line. Although let's getting ahead of ourselves.
Oh,
but,
damn.
Yeah, you're so right.
I totally missed that. Like, geez.
Is that bold black line part of marking the name, maybe, or is that just a break?
It's a break it's a break.
Okay, cool. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, let's continue there in 2 weeks. All right.
Cool. Thanks.
All right. Thank you all.
Oh,
Great to see you as always.